Morning, one and all. This is Yvonne Mason, your independent, best-selling, award-winning author. And it has been quite a week. Haven't had much sleep, been taking care of my husband. But I wanted to start today with a statement that might shock you, or maybe not shock you, but give you pause to think. Oh, what we could be if we stopped carrying around the remains of who we once were. Now think about that. What could we be if we stopped carrying around the remains of who we once were? I know. You're probably scratching your head about this statement. You're probably asking yourself, has she finally gone off the deep end? What is she talking about? Well, I'm going to try to enlighten you in this podcast just by adding a few of my own life's experience and why I left them behind. The remains of who we were. Let's start with that. That is our past. It's the things we used to do, but we no longer do. It's mistakes we made, and hopefully we learned from them. In order to be the best we can be, we have to stop carrying those things around like so many medals of honor. And they don't serve a purpose except to hold us back. Case in point, I am a survivor of domestic abuse. I do not consider myself a victim. I refuse to consider myself a victim. A victim is someone who has no control over their life. The abuser still has the control. I have control over my life. I control my destiny. I control my dreams. I refuse to carry around the remains of that person who was abused. She serves no purpose. I refuse to allow another person to hold over me that peace of mind. I have chosen to leave the remains of who I was back there with the abuser. That person doesn't exist anymore. She's gone. The person I am now is stronger, more determined, more content, more at peace, and I have made the choice to trust again. I trust myself, and I trust others. Well, that is, until there is no reason to trust, and then I just walk away. I am much better for it. I have chosen to be better because of the past, not in spite of it. I have chosen not to make excuses for what I cannot do and do not have control over. Instead, I find ways to do those things I want to do, can do, and will do and have control over. I'm like a branch of a tree in the wind. I will bend, but I will never be broken. Instead of complaining, because at one time I was very broken, I left it behind. It is a reminder that I no longer have. I instead reinvented myself. I decided that I am important. I am worthwhile. I have many things to offer. I am worthy, and I am good enough. In fact, I am better than good enough. I am fantastic. I am not the reason that others fail. That is on all of them. I am not the reason that others do not live their dream. That is on all of them. You see, I left the remains of who I was in the past. At one time, I believed I was not good enough, that I was not worthy, and my dreams were just that. Now, I know who I am. I know what I want. I know how to get it. And I know that my life begins anew each day. The remains of who I was before is no longer being carried around like so many medals. They are gone. I don't need them. I have new medals. Medals of my own choosing. Medals that I created by living my dreams. I have also left that part of me behind that worried about what other people said or thought about me. I worried about whether or not I was liked. That part of me is no longer carried. That is not on me. It is on the person whose feelings belong to them. I have no control over how they feel. But I am stronger because of this. It is their loss. Because you see, I'm a pretty good person. I am fun. I have much to contribute to a friendship. The only person I have to worry about liking me is me. It took a long time for me to understand that. And as long as I like me, the rest doesn't really matter. So I no longer carry the remains of who I was around with me. I walk with my head high, my shoulders back, and a pride that is mine alone. I know who I can be. I know who I am. I am okay with who I am. Especially since I left the remains of who I was behind in the past where it belongs. Today I'm going to read a couple of poems which fit this podcast very well. One of them is called Start Where You Stand. It's written by Benton Braley. Start where you stand and never mind the past. The past won't help you in beginning new. If you have left it all behind at last, why, that's enough. You're done with it. You're through. There is another chapter in the book. There is another race that you have planned. Don't give the vanished days a backward look. Start where you stand. The world won't care about your old defeats if you can start anew and win success. The future is your time, and time is fleet. And there is much of work and strain and stress. Forget the buried woes and dead despairs. Here's a brand new trial right at hand. The future is for him who does and dares. Start where you stand. Old failures will not halt. Old triumphs aid. Today's the thing, tomorrow soon will be. Get in the light and face it unafraid, and leave the past to ancient history. What has been, yesterday is dead, and by it you are neither blessed nor banned. Take courage, man, be brave, and drive ahead. Start where you stand. And then I'm going to read a poem called Comfort Zone by Juliet Herbert. She wrote it in 2012. We all have a comfort zone in which we all retreat. When times get tough, it's hard not to feel like you are beat. So when you feel this time approaching and your comfort zone's in view, stop and think about what you're feeling and see if what you're feeling is true. It's good we all have a spot that makes us all feel good, but sometimes we may use that spot when it's not necessary that we should. So next time you feel the need to stay in your comfort zone, see if all you really need is some confidence of your own. I urge each of you to honestly examine yourself and make a conscious decision to leave the remains of who you were behind. Become great. Become the person you should be. Stop carrying the past around like a banner. Nobody cares, neither should you. And in the end, you hurt no one but yourself. Please go on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Download all of my books. I write everything from true crime to crime fiction to inspiration to comedy to horror. They're all downloadable as well as in paperback. You can also reach me on Facebook under Yvonne Mason. My profile picture is the picture of my latest book, The Mad Hatter, which I think you all will enjoy. And until next time, remember, oh, what we could be if we stopped carrying around the remains of who we were.